to about here at the highest.
Many Toronto homeowners are feeling his pain today. Flooded basements, ruined furniture, and swamped lawns. It'll be pretty much a citywide cleanup this morning after that powerful storm moved through much of the Greater Toronto area, causing major flooding and widespread power outages. 100 millimeters of rain fell in some areas in and around Toronto, wreaking havoc on commuters and residents who are now left trying to dry out.
All our furniture is ruined. Anything that was on the floor was ruined. The kids had some computers and stuff on the floor too, so that's all trash. Last flood in 2019, we had, or 2020, excuse me, we had 4 feet of water, 4.5 feet of water. So we fared much better this time.
It's just been a whirlwind roller coaster of a day. No one wakes up expecting 7 inches of water in their basement. Our life has just kind of turned upside down, and we were not expecting this to happen.
The flash flooding is raising questions around what Toronto's infrastructure can handle. And as residents survey the damage done, they're also trying to figure out costs and just what their insurance policies will or will not cover. Scott Peterson is looking ahead to the challenges a lot of homeowners and renters are facing this morning. So good morning, Scott. A lot of cleanup to happen today.
Yes.
Why don't we start talking about the estimated costs of that?
Yeah, if we compare this to the big flood that Toronto had back in 2013, we're looking at costs that are about $1 billion in costs. And it also just released by the city, they had about 930 311 calls to help bail out basements, flooded basements. They're urging residents, if they need to have their power disconnected, for example, to call 311 before doing anything in the basement if there's a danger there. But $1 billion in the cost, but a lot of people probably asking, what about the insurance that I have in my house if I have a flooded basement, which thousands of Canadians or Torontonians do have. Homeowners, flooding damage might be different than what they have. Anything to drywall, carpeting, foundation, eaves trough. Owners should look at check your insurance policy. If you have only basic coverage, you could have some problems. If you're not covered by, quote, natural disasters like a flood, you could be in trouble here. So read the fine print and be prepared to argue your case to the insurance agent that you are in fact covered. Renters, another problem altogether. There was that gentleman talking about computers on the floor. If you have personal property and you don't have renter's insurance, chances are you are not going to be covered by that. Your landlord is responsible for everything else. Make sure health and safety, that the floors are clean, that the carpets are clean, the drywalls, no mold. Car insurance as well. A lot of damage with cars. We have Ontarians are required to have basic coverage on the car, but that might not include damage caused by, quote, acts of nature. So check your insurance there. And is weather a new phenomenon? There's a lot of discussion on this. Is this going to happen more in the future? If we take a look at what happened just last year across Canada, costs are rising across the board. For 2023, for example, in Alberta and Saskatchewan, in the June flooding, that was about $40 million there. Canada Day flooding in the same areas, $100 million. Ontario summer storms, $340 million in damages. Quebec in October, $40 million in damage. And Nova Scotia, not to be left out, July flooding, $170 million. So the perception is that these damages are becoming more and more prevalent, and a big flooding issue in Toronto. A lot of Torontonians bailing themselves out this morning.
And more expensive, sounds like.
As well, with the cost of living and everything is getting more expensive with that.